Hey, Jordan Persegati. Sorry if I butchered that. I'm not doing a reaction to this video. I have a comment that is down here that is an alteration to Ticci Toby's origin. It's just a bit, and people, you will have to watch the video to see all of the things in between, what happens. I'm just trying to make his dad out to be more of an asshole so that we can relate more to Toby. Simple points. I used the mic to write this, so I didn't actually write it. I said it out loud. So just bear with me. This is the best I can do with the time that I have. Okay, let's go. This is a very long thing, so I'm going to say it in the voice I feel most appropriate. Okay, here's a few Dang it, not right. Here's a few alterations to Ticci Toby's origin story. Of course, these alterations are just theoretical, but they would make the story a lot more streamlined. God damn it. I'll just say it in my normal voice. Here's a few alterations to Ticci Toby's origin story. Of course, these alterations are just theoretical, but they would make the story a lot more streamlined. Now, as for the first alteration, let's have Toby's sister have to drive her car out to pick up her dad who's drunk off his ass. So then, on the way home, his dad goes into a wild moon swing, punches and knocks out his own daughter, who then dies in the car crash, but before she dies, she says to Toby, "Protect Mom." Then, all that stuff with the hospital happens, then he goes inside the house, only this time, instead of being all sweet and nice to his wife, Toby's dad decides he is going to be an abusive jackass. So he goes up to his wife and punches her in the face. Then Toby yells out, "Stop," his dad says, "Or what?" Then Toby says, "Or I'll kill you." Then his dad says, "No way you could kill me, you weak little shit." You really shouldn't say son of a bitch. You should say weak little shit. Because Toby's like 5 foot something, so he's very short. Okay. Then later on in the story, Toby finds the hatchets in their garage. Then later on, his father's in the garage. He goes to confront him after finding his mom with a black eye. After confronting his father, he finds his dad drunk. His dad goes into another wild mood swing, takes out his pocket knife, starts cutting Toby's cheek. Creeping out. Making you feel... I try to make all creepypastas about as bad as Sally's origin is. And I'm not trying to sound laughable there. Her origin is fucked up. And that's what I want this one to be like. Okay. Until he screams out in pain, upon which his mom comes outside and tells his father to leave. His dad leaves, then near the end of the story, when we finally see Toby take action and become a killer, his father is beating his mother again. This time, even more relentlessly, so loudly that it wakes up Toby, who's sleeping in his bed. He grabs the hatchets, knowing exactly what it is that he's doing, that is going on. Goes downstairs, sees his mother lying bleeding, bruised, and beaten with two black eyes and spitting up blood. Two black eyes and spitting up gratuitous amounts of blood. He says to his father, "You bastard." Then he walks up to his father as his father turns and sees his son and says, "This is your fault," before starting to kick his mother while she's beaten. Toby once again says stop as loud as he can, all the while cracking his neck. Then he says it again, stop. His father says once again, or what? Then Toby says, "I will kill you in the most painful, slow way I can. Then I will feed you your entrails." Then his father turns. Then turns to him, seeing him wielding hatchets. His father's demeanor changes from anger to fear. His father slouches to the wall, sitting on the floor, now covered in his wife's blood. Toby looks to his mother and asks her, "Do you want me to end your suffering?" Unable to speak a word from the damage to her vocal cords, from the beating, she nods. And then Toby cuts open his father's gut with one hatchet and cuts apart his intestines with the other, then slowly feeds them to his father. As his final dying breath leaves him, he says, "Well, you killed me. Now you're a monster." Then Toby says, "No, Dad, you're the only monster here." This has been an alternate story to the current Ticci Toby origin, and holy shit. This is the rest of the comment I made here after I edited it. I said, "Holy shit, I'm just now listening to the point that he sees Slender Man. God almighty, what a sight that must have been." The fuck? I knew Slender Man was tall, but a streetlight? That means he's like 18 feet tall. Seriously. No one's specified how tall he is. But a streetlight, it's 18 feet. You know, he's like 2 feet shorter than a streetlight. That makes him an 18-foot giant. Now, unless we're talking about one of those old streetlights that, make him like 7, maybe 8 feet tall. Yeah, that wouldn't make him a very big guy, and he's always been seen as being much taller than a human. Now, if we're talking about one of those streetlights like you see on a highway or a city road, then we're talking about 18 feet tall, which is huge. And YouTube, you can't demonetize me for this. I'm only reading the comment I wrote. Unfortunately, any of the curses there were actually bleeped out by the little thing, so I had to go back in there and write them. And actually, it didn't even write most of the curses or words. I had to write a lot of them because they auto-corrected to something else. But you see that I ended with an emoji, which I think is appropriate. It's like, this is what I think he's doing. Oh, and hell no to the no. He is way too tall. Okay. So I guess this is the end of the video. And please don't demonetize me, YouTube. Saw what you did to Blasphemous HD. I don't like you for that. Okay. 1, 3, 2, Fuck you, YouTube. 3, a 2, a fuck you, YouTube.